Hello, my name is Steve Kine, and welcome to City Connections. I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Marketing and Public Relations for the City of Enid. One of my responsibilities in this role is to serve as the communication liaison between the City Administration offices and to you, the citizens of Enid. Our special guest for this edition of City Connections is the General Manager for the Enid Event Center and Convention Hall, Keller Taylor. Keller is with Global Spectrum Managed Facilities. Welcome to the program, Keller. Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
I know
Thanks for having me.
have a hectic, well, every day is a hectic day for you, so thanks for taking time to be with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been in the city of Enid?
We've, myself and my family have been here since February of last year. So we came in and helped close out our responsibility of Cherokee Strip Conference Center. And then we transitioned over to Convention Hall in November, of course, with the reopening.
So you've been in Enid much longer than me. I arrived in December of last year, but it's certainly been a great experience. So tell us a little bit about your background and really how you ended up here in Enid.
Sure, yeah. My family and I are really happy with the community feel. Enid's been a great home for the last year, and we're excited to be here long past the opening of the Enid Event Center. But my background in facilities stretches back to the University of South Carolina. I worked in the athletic department there in marketing and operations as an undergraduate student, doing a variety of tasks from fulfillment on football games to volleyball activities, and that's really where my interest in facilities was born. A lot of diverse experience through multiple facilities there. Graduated, decided to stick around a year at the University of South Carolina in the athletic department, worked one more year in operations, then decided it was time to go to grad school. I went up to Ohio University and did their dual degree program. It's an MBA and Master's in Sports Administration master's program. So through my time there, I actually ran a 1,200 seat ice arena. So was doing everything from making ice to cutting ice to doing hockey games and other events, and lots of campus recreation activities in that building as well. Also during grad school, I did a number of kind of small internships or practicum type experiences. Worked the Daytona 500. Went out to Las Vegas, worked at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for a week. Spent a summer in Philadelphia at Global Spectrum's headquarters and worked. So I finished up grad school in 2009, headed down to Austin, Texas, and was part of a team that opened a 7,000 seat arena called Cedar Park Center.
Austin's that small community that has a few things happening once a year or something.
A few. Our venue, we opened in September 2009 with probably the biggest show we'll ever see. It was George Strait, so the king of country, and the venue was about 7,000 seats. We did nearly 9,000 for that show. So I was director of event operations in that building, so I was dealing with all of the front of house, staffing, security, fire EMS, police, as well as all the back of house production needs and dealing with the promoters and agents. And so those relationships has really given me the platform to make the move to Enid. I've been in the Global Spectrum network for a while. Even though my last venue wasn't Global Spectrum, I stayed in touch with a lot of my colleagues, and some of them are as close as Salina, Kansas. So it's been great being here in Enid.
Well, I appreciate you sharing credentials and just experiences, because one thing that we try to achieve on the program of City Connections is when I interview the guests, I like to find out, where they came from, how they got from point A to point B, because we know that there's individuals that are watching that said, I want to get in this event business one of these days. And now they're sitting and watching, and they understand that you did this, this, and this, and while you're going to school, you got involved here. You just didn't get all the education done, then start working. You just, intermingled everything. So I appreciate you sharing those things, because I know individuals are watching to find out, this events business, it's for me. So you may be getting the call to find out a little bit more.
Yep.
For a few times, you did mention Global Spectrum, and I believe you mentioned Philadelphia as well. And we hear a lot about Global Spectrum here in Enid. What can you tell us about the organization and its impact on Enid?
Well, the company goes back to about 1999. So our chairman, we're part of a larger company called Comcast Spectacor, and we've got a lot of kind of sister companies that align with us and help us build synergies in what we're doing in our facilities, and that's been the model since the beginning in the late 90s. So Comcast Spectacor was formed through a partnership with Comcast, the cable provider, and Spectacor, which was a spin-off of actually our competitor, SMG, Spectacor Management Group. Our chairman founded that company back in 1967. In the 90s, he dissolved and got out of that side, decided he wanted to start his own company again, and got the really successful partnership with Comcast and built Comcast Spectacor. They bought a company that was based in Florida called Global Facility Services. They transformed that, rebranded it in 2001 to Global Spectrum, and have grown it from 7 buildings to 112 today. So we're a Philadelphia-based company. We've got 112 venues, primarily arenas and convention centers. We've got 40 arenas, 32 convention centers. We manage Visit Enid here in town as well, which I think is important for everybody to know. And then we have some stadiums, some fairgrounds, some ice arenas, we have a winery in California that we manage. So a wide spectrum of facility types, and really our synergies are built between our buildings, and that's kind of what makes us special. Is our corporate resources back in Philly. We've got people that are constantly working on anything from HR to booking to risk management for us, and we essentially manage the buildings for you all, the city of Enid. So right. We operate city bank accounts, so all the in and outs is all city revenue, city expenses, and so we just manage them the best that we can for you all, and use our resources to make sure that the venture is successful.
Well, this has definitely been enlightening for me to know Global Spectrum wasn't this organization that was just created on a Thursday and say, hey, let's get together and do a few things. This really has a very impressive presence across the country with all the venues that they manage. Right. When I hear Spectrum in Philadelphia, this dates me. I think of when the 76ers and Julius Erving used to play at the Spectrum. Don't know if the Spectrum exists anymore.
And that's where the roots of the private facility management industry comes from. Our chairman was the one that built the Spectrum, owned the Flyers back in 1967 when it was just this, the founding 6 in the NHL. He was the one that started that. He was managing the Spectrum so well. Why don't we go manage other arenas for people? So he took his principles and applied that in different locations, and ended up building SMG, like I mentioned, but he's kept those same principles in line for customer first, and kind of our internal culture, how we interact with each other, the buildings, as well as how we interact with our clients.
Speaking of managing facilities, I just encourage the viewers, if you have not been to Convention Hall, please take a few moments, go to Convention Hall. I'm sure Keller's got an extra 2 minutes somewhere that give you a quick tour. The Convention Hall is very impressive. When you think of just kind of it used to be this large basketball court facility, plus much more now, it's very impressive. So Keller, can you just kind of give us what's a day in the life of Keller and your team, if you will, sure, when it comes to managing Convention Hall?
Yeah, Convention Hall is beautiful. I would definitely invite anyone down if they haven't seen it yet. The doors are open every day, pretty much. That we've got events, which is pretty much every day.
And so some new grass outside.
We've got we've got a lot of nice curb and gutter and new landscaping on the west side. As things continue to finish up with the event center, we'll see all of that kind of come to a close, which will be nice. People will realize that we're open and ready for business and ready for bookings. But every day is so different, and that's what I love. That's what got me passionate about this industry. It's so dynamic. Even just this morning, for example, we have state testing on our 4th floor meeting rooms. We have 5 meeting rooms up on the 4th floor. They've been all this week, and they'll be back the next 2 weeks, in fact. So it started out pretty early. We were over there 6:30, making sure everything looked good. Setup was reconfigured from yesterday with a bunch of kids running around in the spaces. But I think the key is that every day is different, and most days, like today, for example, we have that going on in our upper floors, and then we've got part of Red Dirt Barbecue going on in our junior ballroom on the 2nd floor. Then we've got the Little Miss Red Dirt pageant going on in the grand ballroom. So in one day, we're going to see a lot of diverse events. And we've seen a lot of that, and we'll continue to see a lot of that based on the bookings we have coming up. Now, with Convention Hall, brought some new services that we're offering. We're really a true one-stop shop now, which is important. So you can call our sales department, and they can help you with anything from the space to food and beverage to audio-video equipment to decorating services. So anything in between we can really handle for you, and that's been nice. But with that food and beverage side, we with a dual building, a complex, if you will, we've got a food and beverage department, which is just one full-time executive chef. He oversees the catering operation of Convention Hall, and as well as the concessions operation in the event center. So it's a very diverse role because there's very different needs for both of those. But he puts in a lot of hours. We all put in a lot of hours. But events and seeing people enjoy their event is really what keeps me passionate about doing what I do. So. And
that's one key point that I appreciate you sharing, is the fact that there's diverse events, multiple events. I know that the City of Enid is going to have a meeting next Wednesday morning at your facility.
Right.
And I believe you have a large luncheon that's kind of next door.
Right next
so
door, yeah.
It's not just a big building.
Sure.
That looks nice, and it has multiple purposes, and that's beneficial for everybody involved.
Yeah, and I think the key too is that we have spaces to fit any size event. We've got a 14-person boardroom that would be perfect for an off-site meeting or a small lunch. We have meeting rooms as small as 1,200 square feet that could be a birthday party or a baby shower or things like that, and we can provide all the services that go along with that, or just rent you the space. So we can do a lot or a little and make it work for you, and that's what our team does. We work on a customized proposal for each client, and that's what allows us to really hone in on your needs and making sure we're meeting them.
Our guest today is Keller Taylor with Global Spectrum, and we'll have more with Keller right after this.
Hello, my name is Eric Benson. I'm the city manager for Enid, Oklahoma. We're located in northwest Oklahoma, just a short drive from Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita. We're the economic, social, medical, political, and educational hub of the area. Not only do we have the largest retail trade center in the area, serving a customer base of over 200,000 people throughout northwest Oklahoma and southwest Kansas, but we have a diversified economy that continues to provide jobs for the people of the area and opportunity for future growth. Oil and agriculture have always been major components of Enid's economy, but we've diversified our industrial base, and we're the home of many nationally recognized corporations. Enid is a safe and economic place to live. It's a great place to work. It's an even better place to raise a family. Our air is clean, our lifestyle refreshing. We have all the amenities of a large city, but we retain the friendly atmosphere of a small town. So if your company is thinking of relocating, I hope you'll consider Enid, Oklahoma. I promise you'll find a community that is overflowing with boundless opportunities. We're building an original heritage, and we're pulsing with a vibrant quality of life. Learn more about Enid on our website at enid.org or call me at 580-616-7246. Hope to see you soon.
Welcome back to City Connections. I'm Steve Kine with the City of Enid, and my guest today is Keller Taylor with Global Spectrum. Keller, just a few moments ago we were talking about Convention Hall and the great facility and the diverse purposes of Convention Hall. Well, if you go a little bit east, there's a little bit of a building, maybe a little bit larger building called the Enid Event Center. Can you just kind of give us a sneak peek or a play-by-play of the interior of the event center?
Yeah, absolutely. Enid Event Center, which will open in June. We're really looking forward to the grand opening events. It'll start with a ribbon cutting on June 12th. We'll have the Chamber of Commerce's Business Expo on the 15th, and then some of the fun activities that we'll do near the beginning will be June 27th with Cirque Musica. So we're excited to get people in the space and let them experience it for the first time. It's going to feature 100% retractable seating, which will really maximize the flexibility of the utilization of the space. But at the same time, they're nice seats. They're padding on the back and bottom. Padding is good. Armrests, cup holders, all the amenities that you would expect in a seat, but that will fold down and fold against walls. So we can also use it for consumer shows or trade shows, and that's the beauty of the two buildings, that they seamlessly integrate. There's a covered walkway, enclosed walkway between the two facilities that will allow us to market ourselves to state association groups that would use Convention Hall for their meeting space and banquets, and then possibly put a trade show over in the event center floor, or vice versa, depending on the space utilization. We'll have 3,200 seats for sporting events like Enid High. Our partnership with Enid Public Schools, we're really looking forward to that. On basketball, we're going to do a volleyball match. We're partnering them with them on some wrestling tournaments as well. So it's going to be some diverse content on the sporting event side. For other events like concerts, you're looking at probably 3,500 to 3,800 seats, and that'll be because we'll fold one side back, put a stage there, and then add seats to the floor. Since they are all retractable, like I mentioned, that also gives us a 33,000 square foot floor. Now, that'll allow, and we've got power and data and water and all sorts of things in floor boxes that set up perfectly for 10 by 10 booths. And so we can fit 192 10 by 10 booths in that space. And we'll actually have the pipe and drape and expo tables and equipment to do all of that in-house. And so that's a nice advantage for us to be able to provide all of those services under one roof.
When we took kind of a quick tour a week or two ago, I was just so impressed with the size of this facility. I mean, standing outside and looking at it from a distance, yeah, that's a large building. Mm-hmm. But when I got inside, I just thought, no, this is a large building. It was just really large. But as we walked around the facility, it just didn't seem like there was a bad seat in the house.
Right.
Everything was so open, and yet when you go up to the second level and the railing area, there's no wall there. You could look down, watch a basketball game, a concert, whatever it is. Is that the trend for facilities, if you will, to have this openness for viewing?
You know, I think that is one of the trends in these, what I would consider small to mid-size arenas. Based on our footprint too, it was one of the items that Convergence Design, the great architect on the project, they put a lot of thought and effort into having kind of an exposed concourse that you can look up into the mezzanine level. But then when you're in the mezzanine, you can look down into the concourse or straight out of the building. So when you're on the east side of the building, if there's something over at David Allen going on, you're going to be able to see right over. And then on the west side, you'll be able to see over into the great-looking plaza that'll be north of Convention Hall. But at the same time, you can look down into the seating bowl and see the action. And like you mentioned, every seat's going to be great. You're never going to be more than about 200 feet away from the action, even on the farthest corner away. So it's going to be a great experience in there. You
mentioned something to me in a previous conversation about the basketball court. And I don't know if you're at liberty to share much about it, but due to the relationship with the Global Spectrum and their buying power, if you will, why don't you tell us that story? Because I think it's fascinating that this particular court would be coming to Enid.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to provide our leveraging, our buying power to our clients. And so one example of that, we've been responsible for the FF&E, the furnitures, fixtures, and equipment budget for well over a year now. We've been working on that. But last spring, following the NCAA tournament, Connor Sports Floors, they provide all those floors. And after the regional tournaments, they sell them at a slightly discounted price. Now, slightly discounted isn't what we were able to get because we told them we'd buy 5. And so our buildings, we had some construction projects going on, so we got about a 25 to 30% discount on a court that is NCAA quality, completely portable. I know a lot of people are interested about that. We'll put it down for events when we need to, and then if it's a concert or something else, it'll just be kind of a concrete floor. So
I didn't know I could buy a basketball court. So that's the impressive part. I don't think my wife would be too pleased if I bring one home. But seriously, just the thought of a junior high, high school, or any type of basketball event, knowing that this was a court utilized on the collegiate level at one time, I think is a great story.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great experience, especially for sporting events in that venue. We're set up. The seats essentially come right down to the sidelines. We'll have some interior video boards that are Panasonic products that TS Sports out of Dallas is installing. So it's going to be a really nice experience. The goals, the Spalding nets are going to be college quality with a full backup. So LED scores table and kind of all the bells and whistles. So it's going to be a great experience for the high school athletes as well as some of the junior college and college level games we get in there as well.
And they will sense or feel like they're playing at a championship venue or championship level. Keller, you mentioned just a few moments ago some of the dates and events that were going to take place in June. So June 2013 sounds like a very busy time for you. How can, if you're unable to attend these events, the openings and some of the planned programs, how can the public see this, the event center?
Well, this summer we're going to actually, we'll take delivery of that court we just spoke about in July, and we're going to try to organize a number of activities for the public to be able to come in and check out the building. And then, you know, if you are curious, we can always, you can just stop by and ask, and one of the folks on our team. Yeah, look through the windows. You know, you will be able to see a lot from the exterior of the building. You know, the 1,400 parking spaces that are going to be there is going to provide ample space for folks to come and park and enjoy events. But we will have the opportunity to get folks in there over the summer with some free public events. We're planning on doing an event in August in connection with the Tour de Trikes event. We're actually going to be bringing up the Monster Energy BMX team to do an interior couple shows in conjunction with the races. So it's going to be a fun event. It's going to benefit Ambucks, of course, and so it'll be one more chance this summer to get in the building for the first time. If
Individuals been watching the program and they say, well, I need to schedule a meeting at Convention Hall, or I need to find out a little bit more about the event center. Sure. Who do they contact? How do they go about doing this, Keller?
Well, a couple ways. You can go to our website, enideventcenter.com. All of our staff have direct phone numbers and emails on there. Our two salespeople are Kristen Vinsel, our Director of Sales, and Kara Bowers, our Sales Manager. They're primarily working on Convention Hall activities, and then I'm the one that's booking the event center. So I'm the best contact for the event center or for either building, and then our sales team can certainly help anyone with meetings, you know, conventions, anything they have that might be a fit for us.
Well, I certainly enjoyed our visit today, because every time that I talk to you, I learn more about something about Convention Hall or also about the event center. So I know it's an exciting time for you and your staff with the events coming up. And with the building project, you kind of wish that wheel will turn a little bit quicker, but it's finally getting close to that finish line. So thank you for being with us today and sharing all the information.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Steve. You know, Global Spectrum's been here since 2009. We're excited about our relationship with the city and all the community groups that we work with, and we're looking forward to being here many years in the future. So
Great.
We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today on City Connections. I look forward to being with you again next week discussing a topic that impacts all of us here in Enid. If you have a question about today's program or have a suggestion for an upcoming program, please send your comments via email to thefuture@enid.org. For the City of Enid, I'm Steve Kine. Make it a great day.